Okay, all right.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to our fourth Odyssey Talk. My name is Hatumata Magasa. I am the director of Orange Digital Center Ethiopia, and we will be starting our fourth Odyssey Talk in a few minutes. We're just giving a little bit of time to our online guests so that they can join us online. So I believe that a lot of you are following us on Facebook. Please feel free to write a little comment about where you are, where are you following us from, because we received many registration and you are based in different parts of Africa and the world. And we're excited to know where you are and where you are following us from. Again, good afternoon. Welcome to all of you that are joining us today for our fourth Odyssey Talk, Orange Digital Center Talk, our monthly activity that allows us to welcome an inspiring tech professional from the ecosystem and to have a very inspiring conversation with him or her. Okay, so I see that a lot of people are following us from Addis Ababa, where we are based, of course. Where else are you following us from? Let us know. We're interested to know about that. Yes. And of course, to share insights, comments, remarks, questions also to our very interesting guests, please feel free to write something in the comment section of the Facebook page. Trying to check the location, where people are following us from. All right. So, again, good afternoon and welcome to our fourth Odyssey Talk. My name is Hatumata Magasa and I am the director of Orange Digital Center Ethiopia. In a few minutes, we'll be starting our conversation with an inspiring tech professional here in Ethiopia. For those of you that are participating in this event for the very first time, an Odyssey Talk, Orange Digital Center Talk, is a monthly meeting between Orange Digital Center Ethiopia and an inspiring tech professional in Ethiopia. And we have a very amazing guest today, and we cannot wait to introduce him to you. Again, if you want to make the most of this discussion, please make sure that you're able to connect with us because this is supposed to be a discussion, right? So please feel free to share your comments, anything that you might want to ask also to our different guests, or if you have different types of questions, we'll be very happy to ask them on your behalf so that you can get an answer. Welcome. We'll be starting in, I think, 2 minutes as people are joining us online. Good afternoon. My name is Hatumata Magasa. I am the director of fourth Odyssey Talk, Orange Digital Center Talk, our monthly conversation with an inspiring tech professional in the country. We are actually in his office. He was kind enough to welcome us today. And we will be starting the discussion with our very inspirational guest in a few minutes. If you are interested in AR, VR, but also MR, you will be very excited about this conversation. And if you don't know what these words stand for, well, we'll be discussing this in a few minutes, and I'm sure you'll be very excited. So as we are waiting for people to get online, let me share a few words about Orange Digital Center Ethiopia. Orange Digital Center Ethiopia is a resource center. This is a place where young people, entrepreneurs, women, even children can find different types of resources, trainings, access to our equipment, different types of opportunities, jobs, internships, access to makerspace, access to an accelerator, and potential funding. So we are a small ecosystem that shelters different types of programs that provide opportunities for people that are interested in tech or the people that want to discover more about this field. If you are interested about Orange Digital Center Ethiopia, please feel free to connect with us on our different Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, and LinkedIn pages. We'll be very happy to engage with you. And I believe it is almost time now. Let me remind you again what we are going to be doing here before I call the people that are going to be having this conversation today. So again, welcome to our fourth Odyssey Talk, our monthly conversation with an inspiring tech professional from the Ethiopian ecosystem. My name is Hatumata Magasa. I am the director of Orange Digital Center Ethiopia, and we will be having a very interesting conversation with an AR, VR, and MR specialist in just a few minutes. So since a lot of you have joined us already, let me call Miron, who is the manager of the coding school. And again, if you've been to Orange Digital Center Ethiopia,
Thank you, Arthur.
you know that the coding school provides different types of trainings on hard skills, but also soft skills, because to us, the training cannot be complete without these two dimensions. So I'm very happy to introduce her to you today, and she will be leading the conversation today. Thank you, Miran.
Thank you, Arthur. Let's invite our guest,
Sure.
Mr. Daniel.
Hi.
Thank you for coming, Danny.
Thank you, Mary.
So, welcome. This is our course, Orange Digital Center Talk, or Odyssey Talk as we call it, and we invite guests so that they could share their experience, their lessons with our audience. And please kindly start by introducing yourself.
Thank you, Mary, and I really admire the initiative of Orange Digital Center, and I hope it will help a lot of young professionals in this field. And thank you for coming to our office. So, for those who new, I think pretty familiar in VR technology, but just to introduce who I am, my name is Daniel, and I'm a software engineer professionally, but I engage in a lot of different other activities. So I graduated in computer science field with a bachelor's degree and software engineering and master's. So this is like almost 5-6 years ago, and I was like working for different clients which are located here and also abroad. And I used to work as an independent contractor in software projects. Then I think 2 years ago, I with my friends we founded a technology startup called Guzo Technologies. Yeah.
Thank you. Can you please tell us how you joined the tech world?
The tech world, I think it could be through MS Paint app.
Yeah.
That's most of us, we really like to see what is possible in computers. So I think that is the first thing which interested me to work. And I remember I was a grade 8 student, and it was the time where I would take a national examination. And throughout the summertime, I joined a basics computers training. So I have the interest to join the computer science world, but not how I just get finally, but it is like an eye opener for me to start different projects that I can do, and they are like small software projects which I can show to my friends. That is so exciting, and gradually I got the interest to professionally masters the field itself. That's why I joined computer science, and I was trying myself. I'm testing myself with different activities, competitions. So I think that there is an acceptance publicly. When you get accepted, you will be okay. I think it will work out for me. So let me just create something and take. Let me just master a few things so that I can also contribute. So I think, yeah, maybe when I was in grade 8, that was the time I came to this life.
One of the activities that we currently have at the Orange Digital Center is a super coders event. It's supposed to inspire young kids to learn how to code or to learn how to make. And hopefully, maybe we'll inspire kids like you.
Yeah.
When they grow up, they become a tech pioneer like you. So let's move on to your technology knowledge. I mean, you mentioned you started with MS Paint, which is very interesting, by the way. But right now, I know you're a very multi-skilled person. Can you please tell us about your like your skills?
I don't have that much skills, but it's a matter of spending most of your time in related subjects. So, like I said, professionally, I really love working on different software projects. That was what I've been doing since I graduated from university. But you might have special interest when you see what others are doing, especially technologies which are emerging in Europe or US. So everything that I've been trying to achieve was to know that emerging tech, it will be possible maybe for African market or demography. So maybe I can say when I was a grade 12 student, I used to work as a motion graphics designer for EBC. I think that's the new name, but previously their name was Yerta. So that's the national television broadcast company. I used to be like an intern, so I had the experience working on different motion graphics and 2D designs. So I think I grasped the some of the artistic skills and also the technical skills. So combining these two, maybe I can. That's why I'm easily visualizing the VR world, and I ended up like working in virtual reality, extended reality projects. That's what we do most. But I still have interest in other areas like electrical equipment, maybe having an IoT prototypes and also some robotic designs. So if I see it maybe achievable locally, I try to learn and also try to understand how it works. Maybe just grasp a few little skill set. So I'm everywhere.
I see. Can you please tell us about your first successful project? What was it?
My first successful project is probably when I got the chance to learn programming when I was a grade 10 student, because the trainer is also a programmer, but he gave me this challenge, which is creating a computer virus, and at the same time, you have a way to understand how operating system works, and also creating a virus, it feels like something weird, but in order to create a computer virus, you have to understand a ton of things. But within 40 hours long training, coming up with this project and succeeding that before my teacher shows me how to do it was the first successful project, which I still place it in a special place. So that's the project. Yeah.
That's interesting. What kind of virus was that?
Okay, I think it's confidential. Should I
It's okay to share.
I mean, it's only made for educational purposes, so
yeah.
It's not something that damages your machine, but it will simulate some weird behavior, especially for desktop computers. So your CD will be the CD drawer will be opened by itself and closed. So this whole process will repeat for the next 1 minute.
Oh wow!
That
must have been annoying.
I know. So we are creating really annoying things, That's the purpose of creating computer viruses. And I want to make this because my instructor gave me the chance to do it. And he still struggles to come up with the whole source code and the functionality. So I was the first one to show him that time. So that makes it exciting.
Yeah. You mentioned a little bit about Guzo. Can you please tell us more about it?
Yeah, Guzo, I think it's been in my, dreams, let me say like that, maybe for a while. But
What's the inspiration behind it?
yeah, the inspiration is to become one of the best African technology startup or company. So we don't limit ourselves like with some areas. What we know is even our slogan it says innovate better. So we keep looking for innovative products and projects that we can implement and deploy in African market, and especially it fits for African people. That's the inspiration behind the company. But 2 years ago, we came up with let's start our own startup, which mainly focuses in virtual reality and prototyping different IoT projects. So based on our past experiences, I think that was the time to start the company officially. And that is like the reason behind it.
Yeah. So last year, I know you developed this COVID-19 fighting robots,
Yeah.
Kalita. Can you please tell us about them?
It's not publicly announced yet, but as I was informing you, maybe unofficially, we were like sharing to different selected people so that we can take more comments about the project and how we can enhance its feature.
Yeah.
So by the time the pandemics entered Ethiopia, we came up with, we closed the office, and it was really hard for us to continue the regular process or other projects that we've been doing. So I think the reason why we created Haleta is we were on lockdown, so we have to come up with an idea and something to achieve during the pandemics. So within 4 months, I guess, we designed a brand new robot concept that could be used to fight the spread of COVID in urban areas. So this robot, basically what it does is it will patrol over the streets and will disinfect different urban places, and also it will monitor temperature of individuals in real time. So imagine like having this kind of robots in Addis that can keep an eye of everyone, health status, temperature status, and notifies in real time. So we want to create a technology which is already available in most countries, especially in Africa. We might start from Tunisia.
Yeah.
Our inspiration was a Pigard robot. So why not Ethiopia? We can also achieve similar projects that we can also deploy here in Addis. So we have it as a prototype, on prototype stage. Still, it's in our office, but we haven't yet released it for free. For the public. We will announce it soon. But what we want is to come up with a working robot, having all the multi functionalities that we want to show, and I hope that the name itself indicates Haleta, so it will be the first of its kind. That's what we want.
So what were the functionalities except the ones that you mentioned right now?
The other functionalities, the robot is not limited to the health aspect, so we can also use it for agriculture, for patrolling, also for security purposes. So there are different events all over the city, like public events, public gatherings. So instead of having human-based security services, you might even, maybe in a few years, you will see how data all over the place. They are taking care of every security aspect, analyzing threats, and most of the technological advancement that we see from developed countries. So that's the aim behind the robot. But we started as a simple robot. The payload could be it could be replaced with any other materials. Maybe if you came from a movie industry, like a film industry, you might use our data to record awesome shots that you can do it in a car. So you will just put different cameras on top of it and record. So we have plenty of options in the future. They start from having the robot itself. Yeah, I think next year, in the Ethiopia next year. So we will see it somewhere in the streets.
Well, that's good. That's very innovative, and actually, I'm glad you mentioned agriculture and robots. What do you think would be the value of robots when it comes to agriculture, considering the fact that Africa, and of course Ethiopia, being an agriculture-based economy country, and
the reason why luckily we also presented the agri-tech concept on World Bank, digital disruption in agriculture of the 2024. So it was like on November. The presentation shows, as you know, the speed of desert locust on the northern part of Ethiopia was really bad last year. So we wanted to fight that issue. So the only thing that we noticed was different farmers, they use metal plates just to make some noise so that the desert locust will be not on the farm. So, okay, that means when we study about locust itself, they are afraid of high-pitched sounds. So how about if we create this kind of high-pitched sounds through a robotic system? So the agri-tech version of agri-tech, it has 4 different high-pitch sound amplifiers, so it will disturb the locust itself, and it will also dispense different chemicals on the farm. It will analyze the farm. It feels like it's pretty advanced, and a lot of people were saying, okay, this could not be implemented easily in Ethiopia, but just think of having this kind of products or a company that research on similar projects or robots, so that we can enhance the one that we have with this kind of technology and replace it gradually. That's the aim.
Yeah, I hope this inspires the young generation to come up with innovative ideas to support the agriculture technology.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me take you back to your skills, and I want you to explain what AR, VR, or XR is. For those of you who does not know what AR, VR, or XR is, AR means augmented reality, VR is a virtual reality, and XR is an extended reality. And I'll let Daniel explain a lot more about that.
Yeah, so let me just maybe define them a little bit. So basically, most of us use VR, but when it's defined and when we say VR, we only think of the VR headset itself. So like we know, playing games, mobile games, it could be a mobile game, it could be something that we play on our computers or laptops. So everything that we see through those kind of devices is a virtual world. So it's digitally created, but it's limited to that size. So the only addition to the VR is having the VR headsets.
Yeah.
So it makes you, or it will transport you completely from the actual world into the digital one. So the VR it's a virtual world without having any real stuff involved in your environment. So that's VR. So most of us knew about playing games, so it's easy to understand. But coming to the others like AR, MR, or XR will be confusing. So it's like some differences in different terms, but just to make them to understand simply, I hope most of the viewers know about Google Glass technology. So Google Glass is an augmented reality glass. What it does is you can augment digital data on top of a physical object. So it's like a regular glass, but it will extend the digital data. So we will be using AR to add extra information on top of a physical object. So having all this in mind, it's easy to understand mixed reality. So mixed reality is mixing the two worlds together. So I think you have seen our studio, the green
Yes,
studio.
yes.
So we use it to mix those two different worlds together. So when you visit a VR, actually you are like the subject itself will see the experience, but nobody from the outside will understand how that person is interacting or not. So if there is a mixed reality system, you can easily grasp items in a virtual reality, and an outside system could also record that and keep it as it is. So that's MR. The last one is XR, which is a complex version of all, uh, which means extended reality. So you are about to extend some new features to these technologies in general. So I think you also see the bike. So the bike is an addition to the system. So we have made a virtual experience, and what you do is you will be physically riding the bike and playing some kind of a VR scene, virtual scene inside your headset. But the whole system, that hardware, will be an addition to the virtual reality environment. So some people may use it like interchangeably. So if it is like, if you say we are an XR developers, it means we also do AR, VR, MR, so it will be replaced like that. But technically speaking, XR means there are different gadgets categorized under XR. It's like there is a suit called the Tesla suit, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's a haptic feedback suit which simulates some movements, vibrations, so you can feel any digital interactivity. So that's XR. So if you come up with a new idea, a new concept to a virtual reality system, having a new addition, a new device that would be associated as XR. So we also experiment on some XR devices.
That's great, actually. I mean, a while ago, this seemed a bit too futuristic. It's good to see it happening in our aging generation, actually. So
It feels futuristic, right?
it does really feel futuristic, but still, it's good to see it happening. By the way, thank you for inviting us to your studio and showing us the experience. For those of you who are interested, to see what we have been doing, you can check it out on Guzo Technologies YouTube page. So let's say people are interested to try this, and are there specific technologies that you would like to mention or that you would recommend?
I mean, to start
start,
engaging in VR
yeah.
projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is your interest. So I used to be a trainer, so that's the first thing I say always. If you have an interest, you don't have any obstacles in front. So when we start all these things, it's not easy for us to get a funding or a supportive institution or even individuals. So if you have an interest to VR or any of this kind of technologies, that's the first thing, the first requirement to fulfill. The rest of the things will be what tools are used and what kind of devices that I require. So I think the current technology will allow you to work on VR without having the headset. So you can start from web VR experiences like I used to work on Frame.js and Swift.js. Those are like well-known open source platforms. You can just add the technology to your existing website and launch a VR project easily. So there are paid softwares, but I recommend the open source one because they have a lot of open and also communities, supportive communities. That's an addition. But officially, all the VR projects that we made is through Unreal Engine. So we use Unreal Engine heavily for most of our projects, almost all of them. So that is a gaming engine. So most people think like Guzo Technologies is a gaming company. We are not a gaming company. We gamify historical heritage sites. So we use gaming engines to create a virtual reality scene. So basically, it's like a game, but we also add some gamification, so it will be more interactive to the viewer or to the customers that we have. So these are the softwares we use, and there are really good resources they can refer, especially YouTube and Unreal Engine. They got their own learning platform. Most of them are free, and you can have all of their resources available, and you can use them to train yourself. They can also help you out with different free live webinars. So I hope, yeah, if you have an interest, you can start working on VR like we do today. That's it.
So what are the skills that are needed to start this project?
Currently, I'm starting on softwares, as you know, it doesn't have any requirements. Honestly speaking, you don't have to be a bachelor's graduate in software engineering to start here. So if you have an interest, again, so that's the requirement. Technically speaking, if they know about software as well, because there are also some technical challenges they will see. Because if you have an artistic mindset in creating VR, it doesn't mean you have the technical skill set on creating the software and all the XR devices you are about to experiment. So the first thing that I recommend is to work as a team, because you can't achieve this kind of projects alone. That's one thing that I learned, because I was trying by my own and see if I can succeed, but it doesn't. I failed. That's what I was doing. But after we made as a team, because the creative director, he's from an architect side, and the rest of us came from software background. Some might know how to model few things that we can use in VR world, and we also got mechanical engineers that knew about how to work with different hardware, and electrical engineers as well. So you have to have all those kind of combinations to finish maybe a single project. So working as a team is mandatory, and so that each and every team will specialize their own fields and come up with a common plan, common project, and they can achieve it.
That's very good. I mean, that's something that us technological or tech-oriented people lack, working in teams. And at Orange Digital Center, one of the things that we do is that we develop projects in our internship programs, and on those internship programs, we teach interns or our participants to work in teams and how to function as a team and how to function in an agile team. So it's a very important skill to develop, and I would like the audience to really know that. Let me ask you, are there any harmful effects of VR, using VR? Or...
Harmful?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a relative word. I mean, there are some people that feels. I mean, VR itself, when you use it for a really long time, you will be affected with motion sickness. So this is like one challenge, but through upgrading the hardware and also considering all these factors, I hope it will be resolved, and it's like a matter of time. So this kind of negative effects on different individuals will be gone. But I don't see the negative side of using VR, because when we started working on VR for tourism sector, some people say, okay, these guys are trying to put everything in digital and ruin everything that we have or that we know in a physical place. It doesn't mean like that. So we are giving a new way to that kind of sector. If you remember COVID, the pandemic makes the tourism sector almost absolutely to the ground. I mean, nobody was working. A lot of job losses were recorded. That is like, it's never happened before. So a lot of hotels were closed. That's the negative impact. So if we were having this kind of digital technologies that we can use to introduce the country or promote the country or those different historical places, we might not be affected that much. So coming to the developed countries, the talent pool in VR were increased by 400%. So that was how they are requiring through this field, but come to Africa or in general, to the underdeveloped countries. Most of them, they don't have this kind of means to showcase, so they totally lost the game. So instead of taking the negative aspects of VR, we don't even have all the chances, to use or to implement in VR. So still, we are on the negative side. We don't have enough talents. We don't have enough investors in this field. So if we got the chance, the positive aspect will be much more visible to the lot of talents also.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the positive aspects, maybe you could tell us why these technologies are very important. I mean, if you have any inspiring stories here in Ethiopia or even in Africa in general.
Yeah, Africa is blessed with a lot of historical heritage sites, cultures. You can see a lot of differences. Even be specific in Ethiopia, there are like more than 80 different nations. This will give you a chance or an opportunity to implement the technology well. Because I've seen different art and culture related VR projects all over the place. I think the famous projects are maybe placing a 3D version of a statue and letting you like visit that place. There are different architectural cities. Especially if you come to Europe, all the cities are they got their own history behind. So they have implemented in each and every scenario. Almost they are run out of new ideas. But come to Ethiopia, there are a bunch of battles, and Ethiopia is not a new country, or it doesn't have some kind of few things that you can told, but there are different things if you come to the culture aspect, the tourism aspect. All over the place in Ethiopia, there are places to be visited, and even the citizens itself doesn't know about all those historical sites or stories behind it. So we got a bunch of things to do, and those are the positive aspects. This is in tourism area, but how about trainings like in education sector and also other sectors that we are also could be applied. So health is one thing. You can't do a surgery on real human beings all the time. So at some point you have to shift into a digital training system. So VR could also be used for this. And instead of buying a full-scale computer for schools, maybe for schools just to have one ICT center, you might need, let's say, 30, 50 different computers or laptops. Imagine the payments, but will they get every aspect of the ICT through that lab? That's questionable. So having a VR headset, you can integrate different applications. It could be used for kids. It could be used for like high school students or university students to simulate different labs. That's that's what possible through VR.
Yeah, that's very interesting. What do you want to focus on in Guzo technologies? Is it the tourism or?
Yeah, for now it's tourism area. I don't know when we will turn to some other sector because we are also about to enter into the aviation part.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
so maybe education and tourism is the most valuable things that we observe. So I hope we will be, yeah, we will stay for a while. We feel like still there needs to be a lot of contents to be created in the tourism area. So we're still on the early stage. So we have to move. We have to do it for a while, and then we will see what is possible.
I see. Okay, thank you for sharing a lot about Guzo, but now I'm going to ask you a little bit more about your other skill, which is IoT. What are the expertise that are needed to develop the skill in IoT right now in Ethiopia?
So in general, if you are an engineer in any field, you have different tools to solve different issues or problems. So, as a computer scientist or a software engineer, your tool will be apps creating different mobile applications, websites, or any digital stuff that could be your weapon to fight. So that's how you can solve different issues. But when you come to the electrical aspect, you might be using or creating different items like physical gadgets or some electrical devices to your community. So it's like changing your tools to solve problems. So when joining IoT is still it's on the early stage. Uh, we don't have that much projects implemented in Ethiopia. So think of IoT in agriculture, for example. I mean, that is like the huge space. Most countries they're already done with making their farm smart, making their analytics, and also getting collecting data easily from this kind of huge spaces through the advancement of IoT. So IoT is not as new technology, but it's not that much adopted here locally. So uh, recently graduated engineers should look for this kind of opportunities instead of always seeing regular things or maybe following their seniors. It's good to see okay what's new, what's also possible to start in Ethiopia. I've seen a lot of innovators. They are most of them are like self-taught innovators. Some of them they don't even have official computers or any other university degrees. So they got this talent, they got the interest, which is like the basic requirement. That's the starting point. But focusing on what they can solve through analytical stuff is IoT is also one choice. So you might be in an environment which you can't get most of the items locally because in order to be an IoT engineer or just to prototype a certain device, you will need some materials like Arduino boards, it will be sensors. So those kind of things, you can't get them like easily locally. So I know there are some shops like in number, not more than 2, 3, but you can't get them like as you want. So there are plenty of options. So the government should also focus on this kind of area. They have to open or make this thing more visible or accessible to innovators so that they can be more innovative to create new items, new devices. So I think, yeah, having an interest by itself doesn't make you an IoT engineer or a computer engineer or a VR developer, any of these things, because if you can't access all the items locally, it's like a challenge. And this is where the government should come and support this area, this field, so that a lot of engineers should also come to this new technologies, new emerging things.
Of course, I feel like there's a huge leap considering from the previous years regarding IoT. I knew a very small amount. By IoT, we mean Internet of Things. Like for those of you who don't know, a while ago there were not a lot of IoT developers or people that focused on IoT projects. But I remember you were one of those people, and I remember it was one of the projects of Gabea, right?
Yeah.
Can you please tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, with Gabea, I always share my ideas with the team, the training department, the CEO. So they are so supportive by that time, and we managed to purchase different IoT equipment and to start a training. So that was where we made things official. We also organized a hackathon event,
Yes.
and it's I think one of the biggest hackathon events in Gabea. And there were like different engineers who came from Eritrea and Ethiopia. So having all these engineers, you can see how it's uh, uh, different professionals are maybe wanting to join this kind of fields. So yeah, we tried our best. We created a curriculum and gave them a training about IoT. So a lot of people thought, okay, IoT is like working on Arduino, it's not like that. It's like understanding the architecture, knowing different words, and there are a lot of things you have to master, especially how you are communicating and what hardware should be used on which place. So just giving them the basics itself gave them a chance to understand how IoT could be used in Africa, and most of them, I think, they are also started working by their own on some projects they could implement in Africa. So yeah, we are also planning to start similar trainings. It could be online. We don't decide on that part, but hopefully we will continue giving this kind of trainings to the community, especially for the young talents. Yeah.
That is great. That is great. One of the things, again, that's one of the things that we do at the Orange Digital Center. We have one of our sections is called Fab Lab, where makers
Yeah.
make and create and innovate digital products, and also
I hope you will join.
of course, you're always welcome, and our audience, of course, you guys are welcome to visit on our open house days. And if you're interested, you have to apply for our internship trainings. We have multiple trainings for IoT developers and everything related to IoT and digital fabrication, of course. Yeah, so what do you think is the future for IoT in Ethiopia? What do you think it's going to look like?
I don't see like specifically IoT or VR in the future because most of these terms will be mixed. That's how I see it. So IoT without AI is nothing. So it also works when we say XR, it's a combination of IoT and VR, or it could be AR, or it could be MR. So all those technologies, I think we are lack of the terms when we create the technologies because technology is advancing really fast, so it's hard to categorize it under one specific technological sector. So it's not only IoT, it's not only AI, it's not only blockchain, or it's not only XR, any of this emerging things. So at some point they are converging to a single and some common thing. So maybe let's say even if you have seen the evolution of headsets itself, it's really dramatic. I mean,
It is.
after a year, you will get something out of the blue. They come up with a new idea, even iPhone 11 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro. If you closely see the difference, they added a LiDAR sensor. This is only for AR. So having all this kind of additions or updates or features will lead, when you can't estimate where we are going, but it's something more interesting. And as an African entity and as an African startup, we have to have some portion of this. So if we get a chance, we could also contribute something because we have enough talents. We have, I think, all the base grounds to start similar technologies. But it's not easy to create or come up with a headset or just advancing within short amount of time. But we are in the process, and we are not enough. That's why we love to share how we start and also how we are proceeding to the future. And some of us are from IoT and some of them from VR. We should be working together and see what Africa could also contribute to the world.
How do you think we can prepare the youth for this, for the coming future?
Yeah, I mean, all the private sectors, I can say they are trying their best, but without the government, without supporting policies, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, if you don't have an investor, it will be an experience that you will have for 2 years, and then you will lose everything and start your own private life. So that's, I think, most of innovators lack and experiencing for real. So, and we have to convince investors. This is also a helpful thing. If they are seeing the future, they have to start investing right now because maybe 80% of investors, I'm not saying like all of them, but mostly the ones that I know, they try to invest or they only see the short profit of that company. So they don't see, okay, this emerging tech could be one day it's a solution or it could be a potential sector to the African market. So they have to support through this kind of things. I know they need numbers. They also require a lot of achievements. They want to see your progress first before they invest. So yeah, I think if they are convinced, they will invest. If they invest, a lot of startups will emerge and also contribute really awesome ideas. We are not the only company, like I said, so there are a lot of potential talented professionals who can also create different products, different projects in the government. As you know, the startup proclamation is announced this year or last year. There was no proclamation for having a startup. So there is only, you have to be a legal company, and there are a lot of process behind it, the legal process itself. So it was not convenient for newcomers, people or talents having only an idea. So if the government opens the doors, I think, a lot of companies will emerge. Yeah, even as an Ethiopian, by the way, because as an African, there are different countries who support their startups, like Rwanda, Egypt, South Africa, Nigeria. We had some contacts and some discussions. So I have seen something that we don't have, and they are getting a benefit out of these opportunities. So we also should look for this kind of similar options.
Of course, I believe we are walking with time and we're trying to reach where the world is. And of course, the young generation is very responsible and as responsible as the older one. And we have to work hard to show our talent, to show our skills so that our country and of course our continent stands on top
Yeah.
of technology.
We will.
Of course we will.
That's the only way out.
So, knowing you, I know you're a trainer, you're a mentor, you're of course a tech enthusiast, you're a very skilled person, but you're also an entrepreneur. So, do you have a piece of advice for the youth that plan to become an entrepreneur, that aspire to become an entrepreneur?
Am I on the right time to say this?
Yes, you are.
I feel like I'm still on the process, but if you have, you have to keep your hope towards something positive. That's the ultimate goal I have. There are a lot of challenges, even as of we speak. So just focusing on the positive outputs of what you can do is the most important. Energy. So what we achieved for the past 2 years is something great as a company. And as a profession, maybe more than 10 years since I joined the tech world. So there are a lot of negative things. There are a bunch of positive things that I got. So I only focus on the positive aspect and how I can make them more professional. So it's all about how you think and how you accept negative things. So if you keep focusing on the challenge, if you keep focusing on the no's, you can't see the yes options. So when we start PR, everybody was saying, "Oh, you guys are thinking the luxurious take." In Africa, we don't even have that much. We don't get our necessities well, and you are thinking VR and AR, all those emerging things. Some of them have a reason, but if you keep focusing on those kind of challenges or some negative comments, you can't see the achievements. Like winning epic mega grants, if we were like listening to these people, we don't have the energy to move on forward and apply for different companies and collaborating with a lot of US and Europe companies. So that was hard. That will be hard. We only focus on what we can achieve, and no matter what, we are up to it. So the only thing we get is positive, and I hope in the next few years, all the challenges I can say maybe the major challenge will be gone, especially the policies, the government, the investors. So issues with this kind of things will be solved, and so that we can work closer and we can do something big.
So, young entrepreneurs, I believe you heard that. Keep your minds on the success and on the positive aspects of your projects. So, what are the next things for Guzo?
Okay, that's like exposing our little secrets. So I mean, the next thing we have bunch of projects that we started, so we need to finish those. That's our major plan, and we are also having new services so that easily different companies can use. I think we are also showcasing a few of the projects with some clients, and we have seen that it will work, and that's also how we get enough revenue to this company and survive. And I think something new next year will be coming in the films industry or the entertainment industry in general. So that's a new addition. That's the power of virtual production because the software technology that we use allow us to come up with this kind of technologies. It's common in US, Europe, but it's not that much seen locally. So a virtual studio, I mean a virtual production studio, that's our next step. We will be starting the entertainment sector. That's our hope for the new year.
The coming New Year,
The
Ethiopian
coming
New Year.
Let's say the
Should we expect something?
2022, yeah.
Should we expect something?
And we will announce it.
Okay.
This is our plan in
Okay.
general.
I believe everybody's as curious as I am.
Maybe.
Okay. We will get to see that then. You took a part of the previous or this year's Naval festival, right?
Yeah.
Can you please tell us a little more about that? What it is?
Yeah. Level
What part you
Virtual
do?
is, I mean, it's an international event. It has different conference, exhibition, and there are basically a ton of things to do. So we were physically presenting our services project this year. Actually, this is our second time attending the event. Last year it was fully virtual, so we were here from Ethiopia and showcasing what we have. And in a year, we physically showcased the projects that we completed and what we are also experimenting with. I think it was one of the best thing happened to the company within the past 2 years. We got a chance to meet different startups in VR area. There are, I mean, amazing companies all over Europe that does XR products, VR projects, especially in gaming and entertainment sector. And one thing that I have noticed is the employees or those developers were from Africa. Most of them, like 80% of them.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But the owners, even some of the owners are from Africa itself, but they are working in remote areas or like in European developed countries. This is like, okay, the one thing that I've seen is we have seen this kind of opportunities are available for us to link up, network with, and showcase the projects. But the other part is, do they lack anything in Africa so that they migrate it to Europe or US? You will be questioning. I mean, you will question yourself. Okay, that will be our future. Will that be the next part for us? Because if things are so slow in Africa, most entrepreneurs will just take their company and establish that in Europe or US so they could get enough clients and support from the government. By the way, the organizers of Level Virtual is, I think the sponsors are the city administration itself. So the government is supporting this exhibition, this kind of events, and all those startups that came from everywhere, like all over the world, and showcase their projects. That is one thing, and we also get nominated under VR AR for a cause category. Unfortunately, we did not win, but we were one of the top three nominees. So that is also one thing to showcase as an Ethiopian entity, coming up with your own project, your own story, and showing that to the world is really inspiring for us. So yeah, that is the best thing.
Yeah, that's truly inspiring. I'm sure the young audience here have a a lot to learn from you. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure they are curious how do you get to participate in this kind of events, or how can they take a part in this kind of
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, all those kind of informations we get about the grants, about the events, is using the social media. Okay, that's the good part of using the social media properly, because you can just get really nice information about this kind of events, especially if you follow different event organizers in Europe and knowing all these companies. Because when we say something about the Val Virtual, a lot of other individuals know about this place so that they can wait next year and apply, they could get the chance to participate. So that's how we were looking. And uh, when you get networked with other companies out of Ethiopia, you will get a chance to uh, get informed quickly. So yeah, that's one important thing. So just use the social media well and follow pages that relate to your work, your future vision.
Nice.
So if you have seen, I mean, if you can see our pages, probably we follow a ton of their pages, event
Yes.
organizers.
Yes.
We don't want to miss all those opportunities.
Yes, some of them I follow through you actually.
Yeah, so that's how we are not thinking like we are not competing with our own companies, right? With our own African sister companies. It's not like that. You have to see yourself or compare yourself with the developed countries. For them, things are easy. I mean, they can get 30, 40, or 100 headsets in a day. So they have a chance to get that, or they have the financials to get that. But the only lack that I've seen is they don't have enough contents. And we got a lot of contents. I mean, just see the tourism aspect of those historical heritage sites. So if we just place them digitally, imagine how much profit we can generate out of this kind of contents. So yeah, they are looking for contents, and we can provide them with the best contents. That's how I see we have to use the opportunities well. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this valuable information.
Yeah.
I hope the youth here will use it purposefully. So I'm gonna ask you three important skills that you believe are important for the youth that you recommend for them to develop
Okay.
as a student, as a graduate,
Yes.
Yeah.
The first.
and why?
Okay, maybe I have to
Doesn't
generalize it. Yeah,
yeah.
so the first one should be a professional skill. So you have to have, I mean, being a professional, that's why we joined Gabea, by the way. We knew how to, I mean, we were a computer science graduate, but the ultimate goal of Gabea at that time was to make you professional. That was the idea. But I was keep asking, am I not a professional person? There are a lot of criteria to become a professional person. First, you have to know how to communicate, how to explain your product. There are different innovators, engineers that can do amazing applications but doesn't know how to approach different investors, different opportunities. That's why we get a lot of requests, by the way. How do you guys approach it in games? How do you guys won the grant? This kind of questions
Yes.
is like should be professional. So you need to look for this kind of opportunities and also find different individuals who can help you. You have to have a mentors that know the business. I mean, they could be less technical than you, but they will be helpful and to give some to get some advice about the tech sector in general in Ethiopia. We don't know the policies that much, so we have to have a legal advisor that knows how we can establish a company. So having all this in mind, you will be deciding professionally on each and every step. So just getting a bachelor's degree or a PhD or any of a master's degree doesn't make you a successful entrepreneur. There should be a bunch of people around you who could make you more professional. So having a professional skill is one thing. The second one, probably you have to I mean, I always do apply in order to be a creative person. I have this rule, by the way, just to use the basic mathematical what do we call the arithmetic operations, like the addition, the subtraction. So think of a mobile phone and a laptop. Can I mix these two technologies together and come up with a laptop that can also be used as a smartphone? Probably tablet were created like that. So to be creative, you have to see how the equipment or the devices around you, how they are working, and you could either use addition or you could use subtraction or multiplication. For example, you have AC for your room and you have a refrigerator in your room. But both of them, they have a similar item inside, which is I think the device that makes your room cold. So that AC technology could be used as a common device for both the refrigerator and also the AC device. So you can just eliminate these two hardwares from the two and place it somewhere outside. So the refrigerator will also use the AC regulator from the outside. So there are a bunch of ways to come up with an idea. So be a creative person, because if you stick with an idea who somebody created or come up with, you might lack with the creativity. I hope you know there are a bunch of e-commerce projects all over the country or all over the world, but maybe Amazon or Alibaba succeeded, and they are commonly, I mean, most of people knew about all these platforms. Even locally, there are amazing applications, e-commerce applications, but if you are keep cloning the features that you know from previous projects, it's less likely to be succeeded on that area. So you have to be creative. That's the second major important skill you have to acquire, especially to be in your own world. That's the most important thing. There are a bunch of VR developers out there, but what makes us unique is we put Ethiopian historical heritage to the world, and we also make gamification. We also add our own Excel hardwares, so that makes us, I think, unique, and that's how we convince different companies from US and Europe. The third one is it's not a skill, but it should be a manner most of the time. You have to have a manner. After all, what you do should be for the community. That's the most important. So it's not a skill, but it should be something that you have to have. Without this, it's hard to see your company will be impactful to the society. So the reason why we created Guzo Technologies is to impact the community itself. So it will impact the young generation, just to inspire them in new things, emerging things, so that they can also contribute their ideas to the world. That's one impactful thing. The second one is the products that we've made. Think of the VR projects for kids. I mean, all the folk tales that you can tell to your kids, probably they came from Europe or US. So how about the local context, the local African context that you can teach to your kids? So most of them are like politically altered, or a lot of things that happen. So we want to show, or we want to keep the clean version of Ethiopian history or African history in general to the next generation. So that's one big impact we want to achieve, and it should be like that. So your company should be defined how it impacts positively to the community. So that's.
I see. So the three things that you mentioned are professionalism,
Yeah.
creativity, and having an impact, positive impact to the community. That's very insightful, and thank you for sharing that. I hope.
Yeah, but it will never be limited by skill. I don't know, because I keep following a bunch of things.
We're open for more. You can tell us
No,
more.
no, no, I don't have it right now, but hopefully it is like more than three.
Of course it is. All right. So you mentioned the skills. How did you develop them?
Develop.
Your professional skills, your creativity, and all
I think I'm not the best example for this, because most of my friends or some people around me, they see me as this guy is not a focused man. I mean, he's all over the place. Sometimes you will see me doing mobile application, or and then I will be working on a web or on IoT and AR now, in the company, so it's everywhere. And somebody said he's a man with many hats. I don't want to say it. Hopefully he knows. So I'm always ask myself, I don't want to rely on somebody else, but honestly speaking, I want to know how things are working, especially. Have you ever questioned yourself, okay, when I bought some hardwares, for example, like it could be a smartphone or it could be any electronic device, 80% of the time I will open that device and learn how it works or see how they incorporate each and every item. So that's how I want to understand. If I don't understand about how it works, probably I won't open that device. So yeah, I eager to see and learn different subjects and different areas so that I won't bother you. Probably you are a professional in some other field. So did you see that I will be coming to your place and Miro, could you do this please? And I will be waiting for the next 3 weeks. How about if I studied that well and I will never be a professional like you, but maybe I will know few things to do the things that I want to do. So that's how I achieve. I mean, I started from the graphics and then to the programming. And I don't know. I think the programming comes first because I started it when I was a grade 10 and then the machine graphics. So I think that's why I much more interested in the VR world because I see things from both aspects, from the artistic side. I'm not saying I'm an artist by the way. I'm very below that. So there are different 3D artists, professionals. They know their field well, and I knew a lot of professionals in software development and AI. So I know a few of those things, how I can relate these two teams together and work. So that's a professionalized skill that I acquired maybe for the past 6, 7 years maybe. Yeah, I mean this is like a collective decisions finally we've made here.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you blame your curiosity for everything that you have learned.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll just add that to one of the skills someone should
Yeah.
have curiosity.
If we keep waiting, maybe we will reach maybe 20 different other skills.
Now I'm tempted to ask you how many skills do you have,
I
Danny?
don't know. I didn't count those things. Hopefully, there are a lot.
Okay.
Sometimes when I acquire a new skill, maybe I will replace it with the previous one. So I no longer use that. So
Well, some skills become obsolete.
I think I'm becoming a business person. So hopefully I will use the technical ability. I don't know. I don't want that, but that also be. If you don't have a business mindset, it's hard to lead a company. That's one thing that I understood because this is not a fascination or this is not something you will decide as you want because this is a company. You have to follow a vision, a big vision as a team. So I'm always against, I guess, because I want things like fast and sometimes when I propose to my team will see it in a different way. And yeah, maybe that is the time when I will realize, okay, I'm thinking something out of the scope. So I should limit myself. So that makes you not to lead the company well. That's why as a startup, currently I'm managing the stuff, but if the company is becoming bigger and also from a startup when you transition into a corporate company, I won't be the CEO. Hopefully that's what I want. I'm not good at business.
Well, that's something you're gonna have to learn.
Yeah, maybe
All right.
by replacing my technical skill. That's what.
So our mission at the Orange Digital Center is to inspire the youth, either to have a job or create a job themselves. So for this youth, what pieces of advice would you give? I know you've been giving a lot of them, but what would you advise the youth?
Yeah, I mean, the current situation is really challenging for most professionals, especially the young talents. I mean, I can say from the some of the friends that I have, they are mostly focusing their life, to have some better life outside of Ethiopia or Africa in general. So that's hard. But if you don't have a vision, like I said, to impact your community, the purpose that you are here is to solve something for your community. So I always tell them, don't get distracted by the things that you have seen, especially the politics or any of the things, the economic factors and the access to opportunities. You don't have that much job opportunities like Europe or US in Africa. So those are like the challenge, but just focus on the things that you can do with what you have, and maybe you will achieve. Through time, you will achieve what you were hoping or visioning when you were like a university student or something. I remember I was working on similar project, like a virtual tour project back in campus. I wish for having a 360 camera maybe for 2 years, 3 years, and I'm trying to contact different investors just to give me this device. But that was not easy after we get everything that we want, because the steps were really challenging, and sometimes you will lose hope. As a youngster, that is like also another challenge, just to lose hope easily. So everything comes with a lot of pain. Just take time and focus on the things that you have to accomplish, and engage yourself in activities with they are really eye-opener entrepreneurs and also mentors. That's why, just to get out of the distraction, use your time properly in your professional skill, learn a lot from other startups, other professionals, and if you just invest the time properly in yourself, and you will see the output gradually in less than maybe, let's say, 5 years, so that you will be proud of.
Thank you. Thank you for
I'm
sharing
counting
that.
my time, by the way. That's only 5 years.
What's for Guzo done in 5 years? Now I'm curious to ask.
In 5 years, I don't know, honestly. What we do now is uh, proving the idea is good. The idea will work in Ethiopian context or in general in African context. That's the main aims. After we succeed this, we have plenty of options to decide. Like you see, we are engaged in IoT and robotics. We got that department. We also got the VR, the XR studio. So having these two in mind, we might have another 6 ideas or 6 departments or 6 different startups out of Guzo technology. So we want to innovate technologies better, like the US and Europe. That's the aim. We don't want to be left behind.
We're not going to be left behind. We have very skilled youth. We have all the opportunities that we need to grow, and
We are one of the leads.
places like Orange Digital Center are supporting the youth to develop the skills so that they become an entrepreneur, creator, and of course also get a better job.
True. And I think this is the time where a lot of companies are interested to invest in Africa. So I hope the timing is good for
Perfect.
opening good opportunities. So I think the young graduates at this time, they are lucky.
Yes, that's what I always say. That's what I always say. So thank you for answering my questions. Now it's time for us to move on to the questions from the audience that have been asking questions. They want to know more about you, about what you do, and about some of your opinions actually. And I'm gonna start with what's your inspiration? Although you have mentioned it earlier, but
Inspiration to start the company or joining?
what's your inspiration in general?
Think is my inspiration, even the word itself. Think.
Can you please explain that?
Yeah, most of us, let me say, like my friends, we want the life of Iron Man.
Of course.
That's
Of
not the
course.
inspiration. So in order to achieve that, you have to live in this world. So you have to first understand how the tech world works. You will see, okay, in a few years how the world will progress, having all this kind of advancements in different areas. So yeah, I think I could say I follow Iron Man more than Elon Musk. I mean, Elon Musk is my role model. He exists in the real world, but in that imagination, Iron Man is the best person.
Are you planning to build your own Jarvis?
Probably not Jarvis, but maybe
Who
my
is it
own
gonna
suit.
be?
That's what I want.
That's interesting. I'm glad you mentioned Elon Musk because one of the questions that I've got is, um, what do you think about the recent Elon Musk's robot, the one that he introduced last week?
I mean, this is like recent project.
Yes.
I don't know how his brain works, but he's a way too much advanced than my ability to speak about his robot. He's so, I mean, a really technical person. He's a visionary. The way he thinks is not like, I mean, it's obvious for most of us. It feels like obvious, but making that a reality makes him a unique person. Especially, I really admire him with, it's not with the Tesla car, by the way, with the SpaceX project.
Yes.
Because that is the one thing that I inspired. I mean, if you think of achieving some weird ideas, probably you are weirder than anyone, but you will be followed by a lot of individuals, even different tech professionals. So his robot could be, yeah, I hope. I'm not that much admiring automation is the ultimate solution for everything, because what I know is not to replace humanity, but to make them advance. And this is also his quote.
Yeah.
They were like discussing this with Jack Ma in one conference, and I guess Elon Musk want to upgrade humanity. So that's why he's investing in brain chip technology and all those things. So I also follow that dream, not to replace humanity, not to make humanity suffer with automation of different job opportunities. So yeah, the robot. Let's wait until it's launched publicly.
Yeah.
But all the other project is really perfect. The Hyperloop project. It was like a concept. I have seen similar ideas in black and white videos,
Yeah.
but it was an idea. But this guy he proves it like such ideas could also be seen.
It brings them to
reality.
life. Yeah. Thank you. So one of the questions that I got from the audience.
Do you know he started from paper, right?
Yes, I do.
So he's a man with millions. That's why.
Of course. So do we expect you to be
No.
the future Elon Musk?
No.
Why not?
I wish to become like that, but that's only a wish.
Okay, let me get back to the question from the audience again. This audience said, I work on a project related to entertainment and media and digital technologies to bring different easy access solutions and have across a wide gap, have come across a wide gap in the understanding and value people give in visual assets. What do you feel?
I mean, if he is focusing on entertainment,
Yeah.
visuals, I think, yeah, he needs to, like I said, don't be specific on your skill set. That is like the first thing that should come to his mind. That is, this is like his only skill, so that he only visualizes it in terms of his technical knowledge and personal visions. But he needs to work as a team, or he have to get somebody else that can support and see progressing forward. Like probably they can start from Unreal Engine, because Unreal Engine makes things easier for for a production studio. Hopefully, I can maybe say something about the Lion King movie.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so the whole movie, I mean the new one, It's made completely in Unreal Engine software.
Wow.
So imagine it's not made as an animated sequel or an animated movie. Everything is like a game. So they created a virtual world in those animals you have seen on the movie.
Yes.
And also the camera movement it feels natural. So they recorded it through a virtual reality headset. So everything was taken, I can say, from Avatar movie. So it took them like 10 years to just have it in a simple studio. So 10 years ago, I think that was the movie launched, right? The Avatar movie. It's been 10 years.
Yeah,
So
about 10 years.
10 years
Oh,
ago,
wow.
maybe, yeah, let's say 10 years ago, Avatar movie required all that big studios, all those complicated equipment. Imagine how much money you have to invest just to have this kind of experience. But in 10 years, an individual or a startup could buy similar technology or something advanced technology, then they can recreate movies like Avatar.
I see.
So an African studio can also create something like Avatar with the same quality. So if we got the skill set, the technology is making us much more connected to this kind of dreams and also movies. So the next maybe we will have another avatar from Africa or Lion King from African professionals. So he should focus on the latest technologies. The reason why I mentioned Epic Games, I mean Unreal Engine is Epic Games is really helping and investing to scale the Unreal Engine features. And Unreal Engine currently is not only for games. You could also use it for virtual productions, stage design, almost everything that you know in the entertainment industry. Last time I was also mentioning they are using Unreal Engine on the new Hammer EV
Oh
models.
yeah, you were telling me about that.
So-
Can you please tell the audience
Yeah,
about that?
so a lot of UI UX designers they probably use Photoshop or any other motion graphic softwares like Adobe Premiere, After Effects, and any other motion graphic softwares.
Yes.
But this is like a real-time engine, and you can have a bunch of things that you can create easily in Unreal Engine. So they used Unreal Engine to create the dashboard interface for Hammer EV, the new electric car model. So you see now they are also entering the automotive industry.
Yeah.
You see the gaming. What you see on your dashboard is a game. It's made in
That's
Unreal
good.
Engine. Yeah. This is like it happens in 2020 or in 2021. If we don't start it at this time, probably we will be way ahead of them. And not towards the advancement, but even to understand it will be much more difficult for us. So I think this is the right time to focus and start. And that's why we don't even get the full power of Unreal Engine as a startup. I mean, it's huge,
Yes.
but what we are trying is to learn and achieve a few things that we know and share to the community. So that a lot of professionals will join this. So I hope this guy he should be focusing on real-time engines like Unreal Engine.
I hope he's following on this question right now.
So,
And another question from the audience was, what was the biggest decision you've made in your life? It doesn't necessarily have to be personal, but you could
this
tell us
is hard.
something related to your profession or I don't know what changed.
Even the professional one is really hard. I mean, staying on this field is the hardest decision. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of scenarios where you will feel like, am I on the wrong side? I mean, probably I will be succeeding if I were
Doing something else.
farmer, probably, or some kind of a chef. Yeah. I'm not good at foods, but I never tried before. Probably I will succeed if I join this field. You never know. I mean, staying on technology related fields is a bit harder for the
Let's
past
say maybe as a pioneer,
like
I mean, being here in Ethiopia and having the limited resources that you're having,
yeah.
you could
That is also one factor, but in general, even without having a company staying in this field, because you always get this information like from abroad. Software engineers in Europe, they get paid this much annually, and we don't even get paid, or we don't even have a stable income, right? So that makes you okay. Should I go there and leave
But I feel
abroad?
like that's changing considering the fact that Africa
Yeah,
is
those are the
developing
moments.
right now.
Because my friends, they are not like us. I mean, some of my friends, they are totally switching to a different field. I mean, it's not bad actually, but that was like their ultimate goal to achieve. But imagine losing all the computer science graduates to a different subject. So is there any reason for this to happen? That was the questions, but staying in this field by itself makes, I think that's the best decision. But I haven't regretted yet. I always be proud of that.
But my one question would be following this question: what's keeping you staying on this lane?
Yeah, sometimes you will decide on few things that you don't even know how to speak about it. Because I don't know how I stayed, but this is the only way out. Sometimes you will fight with your own family or you will with your own friends. I mean, fight in the sense like specializing on this kind of fields, or focusing on something weird which is unacceptable by the community itself. I mean, it feels like that, but through time, we are seeing the reverse. I mean, exactly, it's the opposite one. Most of the time, everybody knew Guzo is doing something great, especially helping the tourism sector, promoting the country, inspiring the young generation. Okay, those are the good things. But just to keep them like this, or to make them more even accessible or known, we have to just hide the challenges and work on those things, fix them, and be the one that we aimed when we established the company.
Okay, another question from the audience again. Although we've been talking about this, can you please tell us about the journey of creating something new here in Ethiopia? What it takes and how to adapt?
Creating new things, I think there are a lot of innovators, and one of the puzzle is already solved. First, getting the talents and having that talent to be a professional, and make them to innovate new ideas. There are a bunch of opportunities. I mean, bunch of individuals out there, but is there any? I mean, is there enough companies who could fund those individuals or those companies? That is another question. Is there even any policies that also support investors? Because investors want their money. So if they don't know how they get paid, you can't get maybe a German investor in Ethiopia because they don't get paid in foreign currency. So there should be policies and there should be investors. If we get this, we will start seeing an actual product in our hands. So it won't be somewhere in the shelf. So you can start from universities. When we graduate, there are a ton of projects, but out of those projects, how many of them are implemented in
the real world?
Yeah, that's the question. So there have to be a support. We only see, we will say, okay, we have done with the project when we see the product is working. But there are other factors. If we don't know how to market that, if we don't see how it scales to, maybe there should be. Have you ever seen an app with version 2? Most of the time you don't see it. So that is also one of the problem. When you solve a certain issue, you think that is like enough. But there is always an update. There is always new fixes, new changes. And for that, you have to have support and funding. And to attract the investors, there have to be policies from the government. I know there are good initiatives, but
Yeah.
it should be more and it should be quick.
So that we could catch up to the pace.
Yeah.
I see. Thank you again for coming, Danny, and for answering all these questions, for sharing your experience, and of course your knowledge with us. And is there like a specific or anyone you would like to thank? A specific person, organization?
You will thank a lot of people, but let's say the first thing is maybe your family, because that's the base for your future decisions. Probably they might not be that much technically fit to understand what you are focusing, but they support you. They believe that will work. So for this much time, they are still supportive, and yeah, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. But apart from that, there are a lot of individuals, mentors. I mean, there are a lot, absolutely, and those are the people. And I want to make them that their contribution is working. That's why we are staying on this field. We are working hard to bring all those different technologies, ideas come to life, so that they will also see, okay, that is like their ultimate goal also, to see us achieving our dreams. Yeah. So for those who helped us, definitely we are doing the best thing, and they are not far from us, and I think the time is coming. So let's wait and see.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you.
for giving us your time, and of course for borrowing us your studio. This was a very interesting conversation. I hope the audience have learned a lot from this, and of course I have. This is one of the things that we do in our digital center. Bring in tech-oriented people so that they could share their experiences. And thank you for being our second guest. And for the coding school, of course, but fourth guest for general Orange Digital Center. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for following, and I hope you learned a lot. Thank you.